So hi everyone. Today we're be talking to Dianne, and we'll talk about her experiences with the admission process. Hi Dianne.
Hello.
Um,
Yeah, go on.
so would you let's just begin by you introducing yourself and how, we'll talk about the process later on.
Yeah. Okay, so my name is Dianne Witmeyer and I am 22 years old. I am a French business student. And I've just graduated from a bachelor program at ESSEC Business School in business administration. I've had several experiences, professional experiences during this bachelor program, and I really enjoyed it all the way. And I am going to pursue my studies next year, so in September, with a master's program in international management at Bocconi University.
That's great. That's a great place to be. So since we're talking about Bocconi, I'm assuming that Bocconi was not your only choice. So and I also want to know, since you already a master's, you're already a business student. So at what point did you realize that you wanted to further your education, and how did you decide on your schools?
Okay, so I actually realized pretty quickly in my bachelor program that I would need to have a master's degree afterwards, because I realized that the courses that we were having at ESSEC in the bachelor were quite broad, quite general, and I realized that I would need to have a more specific knowledge about a specific area or job or sector. And so I realized that it was important to have a master's degree after the bachelor. So I say that I actually decided to pursue my studies quite soon, so 4 years ago. And then I decided to go for an MIM maybe a year and a half ago, when I had a bit more experience about what I liked and what I disliked. I've also applied to a bunch of masters in marketing because this is what I like. So yeah, I had several options, but it got really more precise as the application process got near me, I'd say.
All right. I'm just curious, since we're talking about your MIM program. So is there a particular reason that you opted for an MIM and not an MBA?
No specific reason, but I actually got a bit intimidated by the MBA, and I think like a lot of people that are applying to MBAs are way older than I am and have more professional experience. And so I was more comfortable with applying to a master's degree, and it was more fitting my objectives. And the programs they seem to fit more my personality and what I would want, what I would need for my future career.
All right. Okay. Which is a well thought of decision, I believe, that you've made. So I also asked you, what schools did you consider to apply while you were, you are going to Bocconi, but then what other schools did you consider?
I considered mainly schools that were not in France for several reasons. The first one being that I really wanted to have a more richer cultural experience, and I also wanted to I want to work abroad in my future. So yeah, I thought that it was going to make it easier to have this master's program abroad already, so that I can have professional experiences in the country that I would do my master's in. So yeah, these were the main reasons. And then regarding the schools, I've applied to St. Gallen's University, so in Switzerland. I've applied to ESSEC Business School in France. This was my only French school. Then I've also applied to London Business School, to Bocconi University, and to Erasmus School in Rotterdam. So all these schools were chosen using different factors. So yeah, my top choice was probably St. Gallen's University, because I live at the border of France and Switzerland, so it was really convenient for me. But so is Bocconi, so I'm really happy about the final outcome of this application process.
All right. So, I mean, since you applied to was there a rejection selection phase also that happened? I mean, and how did you deal with it, if so?
Yeah, of course, I've had to face some refusals and the acceptance of Bocconi. So the refusals at first, of course, as any student, I was really affected, and I even cried at some point when I received St. Gallen's University, because it was my first letter of refusal. And yeah, you get this feeling that you're not going to be accepted anywhere, and that you're not going to be able to have this master's degree after your bachelor, and you don't know what you are going to do if you don't. So yeah, I was a bit I'd say nervous about all of this. And at first I was really sad about the refusal letters from St. Gallen's University and from London Business School. But after reflecting on that, it seems that it's more about a problem between the personality of the school and my own personality. So it's more an issue of misfit between the school and I, because I would say that I've done my best for the academic results and everything. And I've been in the Dean's List of my program since the first day at ESSEC, and I've been student representative. So I don't think that the issue was the academic results. I've done my best, but it's more like an issue with the fit between me and the school. So yeah, I thought that in the end, maybe this was for the best, and that I would feel more comfortable in a school that was fitting my personality and mentality, like Bocconi.
All right. Okay. So you've given your share of fair thoughts to this, which is good. Is there a fundamental? So what criteria, or what is the fundamental thought that you, as a student, had while you were considering these schools?
Okay, so the first one was the quality of the program. So it's really hard to have a feedback or an overview of the quality of the program. So I've tried to talk a lot to different students from these schools to have their own view about the experience in these schools. And then I've also relied a lot on the rankings. St. Gallen's University was the first in the rankings at the time. I think it's still the first for the MIM. And yes, same for London Business School and Bocconi University. They are all like top schools, and so this played a role. But there were many other factors. For example, the country in which the school was located was really important. I didn't really want to go too far away from France. Because yeah, I still have my parents here and everything, like my social life is still in France. So yeah, I didn't want to go too far, but I really wanted to go abroad. So this was a good compromise, I'd say. And the program as well was really important, the program itself, because I wanted the program that would have the most foreign exposure. Yeah, and so yeah, I really relied on this as well, and on the content of the program itself, like the courses. I really didn't want something that was too focused on finance or too focused on, say, I don't know, accountability or anything. So yeah, this was also a choice, and the price. Of course, the price is really important. Because most of us are relying on our parents or are paying by ourselves. Like, we don't usually have a loan so early in our life, and having a school that is really expensive might require you to take a loan, and this might put you in a complicated situation for your future. So yeah, I really wanted to avoid that, and but business schools are really expensive, but it was a choice. So that's why actually St. Gallen's University was my top choice. It was the least expensive one, but then yeah, also the options for having you know, a reward or a help from the school itself, like a financial help, was really important for me. So yeah.
All right, so that is a very detailed research, I must say, that you've done. All right, so I think everybody who's going to watch this video is, I think, lost or looking for some advice. And what advice do you think is, I mean, you can give to somebody out there who's applying to an MIM program?
Okay, so I have several advices, actually a lot of advices, different advices. The first one being that you have to know what you want and what is your targets and why you are doing this. Because like taking the GMAT and applying, like taking the TOEFL and applying, it takes a lot of time and a lot of efforts. And if you lose your target from sight, you might just give up on everything. And so you really have to keep in mind your goal and why you are doing this. Because there will be some tough times, and there will be times when you would say, oh, I wish I was not doing this. But you have to keep in mind what is coming after that and what is the next step. So this is my first advice. Always know what you are going to do and why you are doing this. This is really important. And then the second advice is to really organize your day. I would have a planner for every day and then plan what I would do to like during each hour of the day, because I was doing an internship at the time. I prepared the GMAT and the TOEFL and the applications, and I was also working on my final bachelor thesis. So I had a lot of things to do at the same time, and being organized really helped me to, it even makes it possible, because otherwise I think I would have just given up on everything. But it made it possible for me to really succeed in doing all of these things together. So in the morning, I would work on my Bachelor of Physics, and then I would go to work for the entire day from 9 in the morning to 7 at night. And then I would work on the GMAT with Dr. Hubert, who helped me a lot, not giving up during these hard times. So yeah. And and another thing is that when you organize your day, you are able to free like at least an hour a day to lose a bit of pressure, because it's really intense. So yeah, really have your day organized. My third advice would be not to hesitate to just go in the process and to invest your time and make a lot of efforts, put a lot of effort into that, because this is about your future. And if you are not doing this for your future, you're not doing it for anything, because like if your future is the most important thing. And so yeah, if you have to put the money, because this is a really expensive process, you don't want to make any economy on this. This is really important. If you can save some money, just go for it. But I would say that you should invest as much as you can in this, and to have the best result possible and to reach your goal. And then my last advice would be to make a lot of research on the application processes and the requirements of the schools that you want to apply to, so that you know which exams will actually enable you to present the most schools. For example, I've had some friends that wanted to apply to schools that required the Taj-Maj, and also some schools that did not accept the Taj-Maj, but only the GMAT, while all the schools were accepting the GMAT. So they did not make a lot of research on that, and so they had to take both exams instead of taking only the GMAT, which would have enabled them to do all the applications. So yeah, do a lot of research so that you're going to save some time, and also make a little economy on the things that you have to work for and prepare for. So that's all about my advice for now.
Which is very detailed and very good advice. I think I can conclude by saying that time spent on research is better than, time spent on anything else that requires extra effort. So I think you did pretty smart research, and you researched everything. And I think that deserves, I mean, your application process at least deserves that much. So I'm glad I'm glad that I spoke to you, and I'm hoping all the students will also be able to learn from your experience. I wish you the best of luck. I think you start next. I'm just curious. All this preparation was happening while we were in the middle of a pandemic?
Yeah. It was right in the middle of the pandemic, and at first I thought it's not the right time to apply for a master's degree, because like a lot of students were applying. I think the rates really went crazy. Like students really started to apply a lot.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it became really selective and really hard. And I kind of got discouraged at first by this, because I was like, I'm going to have a tough competition in the application processes, and it might have affected the final outcome. But I'd say don't get discouraged. Just take your chances, do your best, and if it works, then it's going to be amazing. And it's probably going to work if you put everything that you can in these application processes. So yeah,
I am sure. So thank you, Dianne. Thank you for your time. And I'm really glad that I had the chance to speak to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.